ended.
This week on Capitol Report.
I move we adjourn sine die.
So ordered. Sine die.
The 2024 legislative session comes to a close.
It's over. Go home.
A win for mandatory paid sick days.
It is so important that workers not have to drag themselves to work when they are sick.
I have a terrible cold.
A win for UConn and state public colleges.
It's a jungle out there. You gotta look out for number one, but don't step at number two.
While bills on AI and the climate don't make it across the finish line.
T, come on. I'm burning. My lungs are burning.
What does the governor think about the session?
I think the legislature did some important things in this session.
I feel good about this.
And let's not forget, today is Mother's Day.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now!
Capitol Report starts now.
Welcome to Capitol Report. I am Tom Dutcher. We are so glad you're spending part of this Mother's Day. Don't get those mimosas going just yet. Alongside the power panel, the great Danielle Wong, also a mother. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning.
Joe Ersimowitz, you've been called a mother too, but repeatedly. Liz Karenowitz, also a mother. Happy Mother's Day.
This is mimosa.
There you go. Johnny Mack, back from the Music City, huh?
Back from the Music City.
All right, let's go, guys. Okay, and just like that, poof, the 2024 legislative session has come to a close, and it was a short session. Well, there were budget adjustments passed, big wins there for UConn, the public state colleges. There's mandatory paid sick leave for all Connecticut workers, and there were failures on bills for the climate, AI, and eviction reform bill. And one of the final days, a bill passed that would provide state aid for striking workers. But hold the phone, guys. Looks like this one will face a veto threat from Governor Lamont. Watch this.
It was too cute by half. If you want to have public dollars to support striking workers, have a vote up or down. I want public dollars to go support striking workers. That was not the bill that I think came out of there. And so let's just say I'm very skeptical. Let me see what we end up with. Let me take a look at it. It's so damn vague. I don't really know what's in it, but I am not supportive.
Johnny Mack was sitting around Nashville looking at this going, he's brought the knowledge on this one, Johnny. Have at it.
Well, I think the governor's right to veto this bill. First of all, the bill itself is very vague. It's not even fleshed out yet. So that alone is like, go back and do it the right way if you want to. But on the right way, why should government be taking money from taxpayers to give to striking workers when the unions collect dues from their members for that purpose? But instead, the unions are using all that money for politics. In 2020 election cycle, the AFL-CIO spent over $5 million on political donations. Public sector unions, over $90 million on political donations. That's money they're getting from their members. They could use that money to protect their members when they go out and strike, rather than give it to politicians, which, by the way, is about 90% to Democrats.
And if you look at the bill, it really was a haymaker. They tried to put something together. The original bill couldn't get over the finish line, and they had $3 million attached to it going over the comptroller's office for him to figure out what benefits are available. The reality is now what we saw in the last few hours of the budget is the money in that account that was supposed to go over isn't there anymore. It's actually in deficit. So I think the governor will veto it, rightly so. But the discussion of the issue needs to happen open and honest. And I think that was the problem they faced in the Senate, and Representative Harding, or Senator Harding, I'm sorry, really took the fight to him on it and drew it all the way to the last hour. It will be vetoed and it won't go into place. We'll have the debate next year.
Yeah, look, I think what was interesting, too, is that Connecticut would become only the third state in the country to do this, right? Even in California, Governor Newsom vetoed a similar bill. So if Gavin Newsom is vetoing a bill, you really got to take notice. I think also the governor is right to listen to Connecticut employers. RTX came out very strongly in opposition to this. They employ over 16,500 people, and they contribute over $2 billion in the supply chain for small businesses and suppliers alone. And they said this is one of the most egregious bills and further evidence of Connecticut being an antagonist to the business community. So the governor is right to veto it. And if you're going to put it forward, at least have a thoughtful discussion.